Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to our explainer. Today, we're unpacking an issue that honestly touches almost every single one of us with a digital footprint. We are going to explore the anatomy of a truly devastating, highly organized global scam epidemic. And look, this isn't just about a few rogue hackers firing off poorly spelled emails from a basement anymore. No way. This is a highly sophisticated, incredibly lucrative global industry. It's an entire ecosystem that literally runs on psychological manipulation, corporate negligence, and just breathtaking patience. To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of what we are dealing with, we just need to look at this number. $8.8 billion. I mean, wow, that is the staggering amount of money Americans lost to fraud in a single year. To put that into perspective, that's enough to fund a medium-sized city. And worse, it's a number that is rapidly accelerating. It actually shot up 30% from the year prior. But you know, behind this massive, almost incomprehensible economic drain are just ordinary people. People whose lives have been completely dismantled.
I really want to anchor that massive data point with the tragic human toll here. Just listen to this haunting note. It was left by a woman named Laura Kowal for her daughter Kelly. It reads, "I have been living a double life this past year. It has left me broke and broken. I tried to stop this many times, but I knew I would end up dead." I mean, that is just heartbreaking, and it completely sets the stage for our explainer today. We absolutely must understand that this epidemic is about ruined lives, destroyed families, and a profound, crushing sense of shame. It's not just about the missing money.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it maps out the slow, methodical, multi-year trap of a romance scam. You see, scammers use patience as their absolute ultimate weapon. It's like a giant puzzle they put together over time. Back in 2015, Laura loses her husband of many years. Fast forward to 2018, she's seeking companionship, so she turns to what she genuinely believes is the safety of Match.com. There, she's targeted by a guy calling himself Frank. And Frank is patient. Over hundreds of emails and late-night phone calls, he builds absolute trust. It takes nearly 2 whole years before Laura is fully groomed into sending $1.5 million to a completely fabricated financial firm called Goose Investments. By August 2020, her bank accounts are drained, she's coerced into becoming a money mule herself, and tragically, she's found dead in the Mississippi River, over 200 miles from her home. This was not some quick smash and grab. It was a multi-year emotional hijacking.
Let's contrast what victims think is happening with a terrifying reality. Take a woman named Deborah Moss. She gets a text asking to verify a charge, right? Then a call from Miss Barbara from Chase ATM, who helpfully offers to issue a new debit card. All Deborah has to do is just read back the security code sent to her phone. Simple, right? But the terrifying reality is that Miss Barbara is actually a scammer, using those very codes to bypass two-factor authentication and actively wire $160,000 right out of Deborah's account. Deborah fully believes she was safely speaking to her bank, but in reality, she was actively helping scammers steal her entire life savings over the course of just a few days.
And the sheer variety of psychological triggers used by today's criminals is frankly terrifyingly diverse. Look at their arsenal of deception. They weaponize the promise of wealth by creating AI deepfake videos of trusted financial figures, people like Martin Lewis, Kevin O'Leary, or even Prime Minister Mark Carney. They weaponize fear. Picture this: elderly couples receiving fake video calls from people sitting in replica FBI interrogation rooms threatening them with prison. It's wild. They exploit our desire for safety by setting up highly elaborate fake government bond portals like EQR Securities or Savings Connection. And they even use physical distraction traps. Imagine someone walking up to you at the grocery store, insisting you dropped a $20 bill, just long enough to swipe your debit card while your PIN is still in the machine.
So, you might be wondering who exactly is on the other side of these schemes. Well, we need to look at what authorities call the fraud factory. Okay, forget the idea of a lone wolf hacker in a dark basement. These are highly organized, large-scale overseas call centers. We're talking about operations like the AK Group in the Republic of Georgia, employing dozens of people working out of blacked-out office buildings. It's basically a massive corporate enterprise. They have managers, they work in shifts, they even have elaborate CRM databases with detailed notes on their victims' psychological states. Oh, and they hold lavish parties and give away luxury cars to their top performers, all funded by systematically draining the life savings of people all over the world. To truly grasp the nature of these fraud factories, we really have to juxtapose the deep shame felt by the victims with the chilling, just absolute cruelty of the scammers. Take one scammer operating out of Georgia who used the alias Mariam. She was pocketing up to $29,000 a month. When her victim, a Canadian man named Marcel, who had literally lost everything and was forced to sell his home, begged for his money back, her response was captured on leaked recordings. She laughed. She literally said, "I will consume him. Oh, just go ahead and kill yourself."
I mean, there is zero empathy here. Absolutely none. This is an entire industry built on the ruthless exploitation of human vulnerability.
But hey, the threat isn't only overseas. We are also seeing a super shocking domestic trend right now. Teenagers, some as young as 14, are learning credit card fraud, a practice they actually call ditzing, right in their schoolyards. They steal credit card details online to buy MacBooks, fridges, designer clothes, the whole shebang. And listen to how this 14-year-old kid justifies it. Think of it like a victimless crime. Robin Hood, taking from the rich, giving to the poor. Because banks typically refund the stolen money to the consumer, these kids completely convince themselves they're only hurting faceless corporations.
Let's move to the next slide and see how this builds into an absolutely infuriating reality: systemic institutional failure. While scammers are out there exploiting human nature left and right, the major tech and financial platforms that basically facilitate our modern lives are repeatedly failing to protect their users from these glaringly obvious threats, all while earning billions in revenue, I might add.
The systemic betrayal becomes painfully clear when we compare their public safety claims to reality. Take Match.com. They claim to spend $125 million a year on trust and safety, calling it existential to their business. Yet, a Federal Trade Commission lawsuit alleged that between 2013 and 2018, 25 to 30% of new daily members were scammers. Seriously, a quarter of new users. Then there's Chase Bank, claiming to invest hundreds of millions in authentication tech. But remember Deborah Moss? When she was tricked into wiring $160,000 out of her account, they blamed her for not protecting her account and refused to reimburse the funds. And the big tech giants like Meta and Google? They claim their policies strictly forbid fraudulent advertising, yet their platforms are continually flooded with AI deepfake celebrity scams siphoning millions from unsuspecting users. There is just a massive, massive gulf between corporate PR claims and the devastating realities these victims face.
Which brings us to part 1, spotting the red flags and how to defend yourself in a digital minefield. Since we clearly cannot rely on institutions to protect us, let's learn how to navigate these threats head-on.
So the crucial point is knowing exactly what to look for the literal second you are presented with an offer or an alert. Here are your immediate actionable scam indicators. First off, check the web address. Scammers will use URLs with slight misspellings, like, using a K instead of a C or throwing in weird hyphens. Second, look at the contact page. If a supposedly multi-million-dollar investment firm is using an anonymous Proton mail address, run away, fast. Third, let's talk basic economics. Legitimate government bonds currently yield a very specific low percentage. If you are promised returns at anything significantly over 1%, it is almost certainly a total lie. And finally, no legitimate organization, not your bank, not the FBI, not PayPal, will ever, under any circumstances, ask you to buy Target gift cards to resolve a financial issue. It just doesn't happen.
If you are ever contacted out of the blue about a financial issue, you must memorize these 3 simple but highly effective steps. Ready? Step 1. Do not click the suspicious link in the text or email. I don't care how urgent it seems, just don't click it. Step 2. Stop, grab your wallet, and look at the back of your physical bank card for the official verified phone number. Step 3. Call the institution directly using only that number to verify the claim. Actually, scratch that. The absolute most important rule is do not just hit redial on the number that just called you. Call the official number only.
I want to leave you with this final, vital question to think about. If the platforms won't protect you, who will? The harsh reality of this multi-billion-dollar epidemic is that when the dust settles and the money is gone, institutions often just point the finger right back at the victim. In a world where trust is so easily weaponized against us, extreme skepticism and unyielding caution aren't just good advice anymore. They are literally our only defense. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay safe out there and stay vigilant.